Hello students. Today in this video on anti-ulcer drugs part 3, we will study pharmacology of proton pump inhibitors. Now some of the examples of proton pump inhibitors are omeprazole, esomeprazole, lansoprazole, pantoprazole, rabeprazole. Now proton pump inhibitors are amongst the widely prescribed drugs for the treatment of peptic ulcer disease because of their outstanding efficacy and safety. Now, in order to understand pharmacology and therapeutic uses of proton pump inhibitors, let's first recapitulate what is peptic ulcer disease. Now, peptic ulcers are defined as lesions in the gastroduodenal mucosa. Now, mucosa here refers to the innermost lining of the wall of stomach and duodenum. Now, look at this diagram. This diagram shows gross structure of the stomach. Now, this is the wall of the stomach shown here in the pink color. Innermost lining is called as mucosa. Below mucosa is the submucosa, and below submucosa is the muscularis mucosa. Outermost layer is a protective layer termed as serosa. Now, tissue layers of the wall of stomach are shown very clearly in this diagram. Innermost is the mucosa, then submucosa, then muscularis mucosa, and the outermost is the serosa. Now look again at this diagram of the stomach. It shows mucus. Now this is the layer of the mucus. So this mucus is an insoluble gel layer that is rich in bicarbonate, and this mucus layer, it remains adherent to gastroduodenal mucosa. Now this mucus gel layer, it protects the gastroduodenal mucosa from the gastric acidity and proteolytic action of the pepsin. Now if this mucus gel layer breaks down, the exposed stomach wall comes in contact with the corrosive gastric acid and proteolytic pepsin present mixed along with the food in the lumen of the stomach. Now, exposure of this stomach wall to acid and pepsin leads to the digestion of the innermost lining, that is the mucosa, and formation of mucosal lesions and ulcers. So, this results in the peptic ulcer disease. Now, as we all know, increased secretion of gastric acid by the parietal cells is one of the main causes of peptic ulcer disease. Now, let's talk in brief how parietal cells produce gastric acid. This is the diagram of a parietal cell. Water and carbon dioxide combine to produce carbonic acid in the presence of the enzyme carbonic anhydrase. This carbonic acid, it spontaneously dissociates to produce hydrogen ions and bicarbonate ions. Hydrogen ions are transported out of the parietal cells in exchange of the potassium ions by the hydrogen potassium ATPase, that is the proton pump. On the other hand, bicarbonate ions, they are transported in the blood in exchange of the chloride ions via the anion exchanger. So, chloride ions are transported in the cytoplasm of the parietal cells. Further, chloride ions and potassium ions, they diffuse out of the parietal cells. Potassium ions are recycled. Again, they are used by the proton pump, while the chloride ions, they associate with the hydrogen ions to form the hydrochloric acid. So, this is how gastric acid is produced by the parietal cells. Thus, secretion of gastric acid by the parietal cells is mediated by the functioning of hydrogen potassium ATPase enzyme, which is commonly termed as proton pump. So, stimulation of this proton pump releases gastric acid. Now, gastrin released from antral G cells, histamine released from anterochromaffin-like cells, and acetylcholine, that is released due to the stimulation of vagus nerve, stimulate parietal cells to produce hydrochloric acid. Now, gastrin binds to its cholecystokinin CCK2 receptors, histamine binds to its histamine H2 receptors, and acetylcholine binds to muscarinic M3 receptors present on the surface of parietal cell, stimulate the parietal cells, thereby stimulate the proton pump and cause the release of hydrochloric acid, that is, cause the release of gastric HCl. Now, proton pump inhibitors inhibit hydrogen potassium ATPase, commonly termed as proton pump, which is located in the gastric parietal cells, and thus these agents, that is, a proton pump inhibitors, they block the final common pathway required for the secretion of gastric acid. And since this final common pathway of gastric acid secretion is inhibited, proton pump inhibitors exhibit outstanding efficacy. Now let's discuss mechanism of action of proton pump inhibitors. Now, as discussed earlier, these proton pump inhibitors, they inhibit the proton pump, they inhibit the final common pathway of acid secretion, and thus they exhibit remarkable efficacy in reducing gastric acid secretion. Now, this is the diagram of a parietal cell. Now, proton pump inhibitor like omeprazole is a substituted benzimidazole. Now, this is administered orally as inactive prodrug. Very important to note that this is administered as inactive prodrug. And these proton pump inhibitors, they are lipophilic weak bases, and therefore they are administered as enteric coated tablets or enteric coated capsules, so that they pass through the stomach intact and they are absorbed in the blood from the proximal small intestine. And since these proton pump inhibitors, these are lipophilic weak bases, they diffuse from the blood, they diffuse through the parietal cell membrane, they enter the parietal cells, and finally they reach the acidic parietal cell canaliculus. Now, in the acidic environment, these proton pump inhibitors, they become protonated, producing activated sulfinamide form of the drug, and this activated sulfinamide form of the drug, it binds covalently with the enzyme, hydrogen potassium ATPase enzyme, that is the proton pump, and this causes irreversible inhibition of acid secretion. Now, these parietal cells then must either produce new proton pumps, or they are required to activate the resting proton pumps in order to resume the acid secretion. And because of this mechanism of action, these proton pump inhibitors, they exhibit a long duration of action. Now let's discuss therapeutic uses of proton pump inhibitors. Proton pump inhibitors are highly efficacious in treating peptic ulcers, and these drugs are the integral component of anti-H. pylori treatment, and these are the drug of choice for non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs induced gastric ulcers. Secondly, proton pump inhibitors are useful in treating bleeding peptic ulcers. Now, proton pump inhibitors are very effective in suppressing acid secretion, and thereby they facilitate formation of clot, and thus they reduce blood loss from bleeding blood vessels due to gastric ulcers. Now, intravenous proton pump inhibitors are effective prophylactic for stress ulcers like intravenous pantoprazole. Then proton pump inhibitors are the drug of choice in providing symptomatic relief in gastroesophageal reflux disease. Then proton pump inhibitors, they control hyperacidity very effectively in Zollinger-Ellison syndrome. Then they're also useful in aspiration pneumonia. Proton pump inhibitors, when they're given preoperatively, they reduce the risk of aspiration of acidic gastric content during anesthesia and during the procedure of surgery. Now, talking about the adverse effects of proton pump inhibitors, proton pump inhibitors are very well tolerated, and the most common adverse effects are nausea, loose stools, headache, abdominal pain, muscle and joint pain, and dizziness. Now, some very important features related to proton pump inhibitors to be remembered by all students. Now, even though all proton pump inhibitors have a short plasma half-life of about 1 to 2 hours, they exhibit longer duration of action due to irreversible binding to proton pump. And the duration of action, duration of acid inhibition is for about 48 hours. Now, very important again, proton pump inhibitors should be taken empty stomach as their bioavailability is reduced by the food. Now, apart from this, proton pump inhibitors also exhibit few drug interactions of clinical significance. So, these should also be considered before their use. So, this is in brief on pharmacology of proton pump inhibitors and their use in acid related disorders and peptic ulcer disease. Now, if you find the video useful, kindly like, subscribe and share this video. Now, very important, please note that the information provided in this video is only for educational purpose, only for the students. Now, consult your physician for the treatment of peptic ulcer disease or any other disorder related to hyperacidity. Thanks for watching this video.